right? Basically, your split-second reaction will either put you in the ground or keep you safe. Okay? For any tank, RPG, or small arms fire, all right, you immediately want to turn away from the fire towards an area of concealment, i.e., a hill, copse of trees, hell, a building or a town. Anything that can sit there and put either cover or concealment between you and your enemies. All right. If concealment isn't available, you want to make sharp turns of unequal magnitude at unequal intervals and small changes in altitude to provide protection until you're beyond effective range. Alright? Basically, you want to confuse their fire. Alright? So basically, you're going to be turning, left and right, gaining altitude, losing it, doing everything you can to confuse that gunner so that he's not putting rounds into your chopper. Alright? For large caliber and anti-aircraft, basically your shilkas, those that would have radar assistance for, popping rounds into you, right? You want to dispense a shaft and execute an immediate 90-degree turn as appropriate to where the target is. So if they're directly to your right, keep moving on, all right? Because you're already at 90 degrees to them. But if they're directly in front of you, you want to make a quick left or right bank and just start hauling balls, all right? Once you've turned, you don't want to maintain a straight line of flight for the same altitude for more than 10 seconds at a time. So that means you're doing the same thing. You're juking up and down trying to confuse that radar, all right? And you want to initiate a second turn within 10 seconds, all right? And you're still going to be dispensing chaff and flares, okay? And basically you want to descend as quickly as possible back into what we call NOE, or nap of the earth flight. So you want to be hugging that ground because it's going to put dirt between you and the rounds that are coming down range. Right? There's nothing that is more effective than putting a mountain between you and your enemies when you're flying. Alright? You won't see this much, but if you've got a fighter attempting to take you down, alright, your basic response is once you've seen them, you want to attempt to mask your helicopter. Get into a copse of trees, get behind a mountain, basically find a way to hide yourself from that fighter, right? If it sees you and it's alone, and it executes a dive at you, you want to turn towards them and descend, all right? Okay, the reason you're doing that, because if you turn towards them, you're basically making them commit to a steeper dive to take you out. And the more they're diving, the more they're likely to, end up becoming a lawn dart. Alright? Alright, if the fighter's coming diving steeply at you, execute a sharp turn and maneuver away once they've committed into that dive. Alright? So once they're diving at you, turn sharply and move away from them, because it's going to be much harder for them to come after you in that dive. Alright. And then this is something you're not going to see much because it's most for CAS assets, but masking and unmasking is if you're behind a hill and you've got enemies on the other side, all right, and you might be in a transport chopper lasing, i.e. you might be in a Little Bird or maybe the Lynx, all right. To mask you're going to mask your aircraft to evade electronic and visual detection. And you want to ensure every time you unmask, you don't want to exceed 10 seconds unmasked. And if you do it more than once, you don't want to unmask at the same spot. Alright? Because you're just asking for people to keep their crosshairs in the spot you just were and wait for you to pop out again. Alright? One thing to keep in mind is the most vulnerable time for a helicopter is when it's transitioning to and from stationary flight. All right, so basically what I just showed you when you were going from hovers and back, that's when you've got to be ready for incoming fire and be ready to bug out if you start receiving. Okay, now pardon me. Okay, if you should come under fire during any of these transitions, all right, the best thing for you to do is locate the direction of the fire. Okay, apply collective, all right, which is your throttle, all right, and use your cyclic, your joystick, to bank the aircraft so that the underside or the fuselage. Yeah, I know. You want to bank so that the fuselage and the underside of the helicopter is taking the fire, so that you're protecting your cargo and your troops and anyone who happens to be inside of it. Okay. Now, emergency procedures. This is going to be the fun part. Okay. What the hell's that? All right.
You
Yeah, I
can
can
use
hear you.
it. You're interrupting.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I need Death Strike, myself, and God Hand exit your choppers.
Yep.
I need you. I need you to get in these student choppers. What we're gonna do is go over the. Damn it! Thanks. That completely threw me off. We're gonna go over the procedures for emergency situations, i.e., main rotor failure and tail rotor failure. Okay. When you are at high speed and you receive a tail rotor failure, it's not as bad because the aerodynamic forces moving over the fuselage of the helicopter will maintain your heading. Once you lose speed and come in for a landing, on the other hand, the torque forces from the main rotor will cause your aircraft to spin wildly out of control. So basically what you need to do for a tail rotor failure is when you're coming in for a landing, you need to pick an area where you can do a rolling landing. All right, so basically you want to find a nice empty field and aim for that. Okay. For a main rotor failure, on the other hand, you're gonna lose pretty much all your lift. All right. Your best thing to do is you're gonna nose over, and you're gonna maintain above 70 knots. If you get under 70 knots, you're gonna drop like a frickin' rock. Okay. When you're in this nose over attitude, you want to locate a place to land, preferably a field. If not, if you can't find anything, aim for a road, something that's clear of trees, because as we all know, if you even slightly even brush a tree, you're going to explode into a fiery fireball. Okay? Now, what you want to do is, as you're maintaining above 70 knots with the main rotor failure, who's in that Black Hawk back there? Okay. Now, as you're maintaining over 70 knots, you're going to be losing altitude because you don't have any active lift. All right? Once you get close to the ground... Ooh, shoot. All right, once you get between 50 to 75 feet off the ground, you want to start nosing back and pulling up on your throttle. All right? That's going to take all the stored energy that's in your blades, and it's going to start giving you a good boost of lift. All right? Now, if you happen to orchestrate this correctly, you'll land in such a way that hopefully you won't kill yourself and your entire crew. All right, okay. Any questions? All right. Now, one thing you need to worry about is when you are nosing back for that final approach on a main rotor failure, you don't want to slam the tail down into the ground, because doing so will end up injuring most of the people in your cargo, and you're gonna have to end up having the medic give everyone morphine. All right. Now what we're gonna do is some of the instructors are gonna climb into your choppers, and we have the option at our discretion to either knock out a tail rotor or a main rotor whenever we feel like it. So what I want you all to do is you're going to leave northwest from the airport. You're going to swing around Mount Bashnia, whatever it's called. head back to the southeast, and then come back at the airport along the runway from the northwest. Any questions? I'll assume that's a no. All right, instructors, grab a chopper, and we'll get out of here.
Amigos, power up.
Bloodbane, I'm in your chopper. Yes. If you do not have an instructor, wait. Once we've ran these guys through at least one emergency procedure, we'll move to your chopper. Bloodbane, I'm in your chopper. Lift when ready, and move down the runway to the northwest. Yeah. Randomize it. Just pick one.
Be cruel.
Alright, instructors, wait until they're back moving northwest along the runway after the turns. Because I don't want to give them too much of a... I don't want to have to... Yeah, I want them to get the procedure down before they have to worry about trying to find a
Amigos, this
spot.
is the turnaround point. Begin your turn.
Bloodbane, make sure you maintain your spacing. I don't want you getting right up on them. Wazowski, go ahead. Give them failures once they're back over the runways. No ceiling. Just give it to them once they're over the runway. It's negative. If they stayed low, then that's their prerogative. Alright, Bloodbane. Decent work. Next time, you pretty much came in.
Keep your speed up, Magos. Keep your speed up, or else you're going to lose it. You want to keep your speed above 100 kilometers per hour whilst you have no tail rotor, otherwise it will start sliding on you.
Alright, students, once you've hit the ground, stay where you are.
Well, you've got to look at it this way. We're alive, Magos. That's the important part about getting it down, and we're not injured. Take us back. Magos, if you power up.
Alright. Alright, which students haven't had a chance to get an emergency procedure?
Basil.
Okay, Tazel, go ahead and take off.
Where's Huska? Huska, where are you at? Let's go. Yeah. All right, guys, don't get too disheartened if you happen to end up in a fireball. It's kind of expected. Grab another chopper and just go again. Better you blow up here than in a mission. Just remember, that is one thing you have to keep in mind, what's going to be in front of you when you're landing, and you have to take account for it.
Okay, Tazel, that was very good. We got it down in a reasonable manner. Obviously, we're still alive as 0.1. Good reduction of speed. He picked a very clear area away from all the other mayhem and havoc. Take us back up again.
Yep.
Watch out for the other.
Shit off us.
Alright, Huska, you should already have decided where you're going to be landing by now.
Go back up round to the mountain, Tazel.
Come on, you want to maintain 70 plus. Make sure you got your throttle all the way down to 0.
Oh, again. Oh, again.
Huska, once you're at like 75%, alright, 100% throttle. There you go. Back to the airport. Lock, lock, lock. Kaboom! Alright, Huska. Nose down. Huska, nose down. Get some speed. Get some airflow over that fuselage.
Even Zedek screws up.
There you go. Good job, Huska. Alright, you got airflow. Alright, bring us around, line up for our landing, and do a rolling landing.
Woo!
Yeah, everyone fucks up. I still fucked up the other day with an MV-22.
Excellent job, Huska. Excellent. Alright. Yeah. Put us near the swans.
That was... What were you doing, Zedek? When you can answer.
If you cut the main rotor,
Huska, put me on the ground. Alright, guys. Alright, guys, just a quick thing. Remember, once your main rotor is out, make sure you put it to 0 throttle, because you want the blades to spin freely. If you've got any throttle going, it's going to retard the motion of your blades, and it's going to slow them down, and you won't be able to use them once you hit the ground. Once you get near the ground. Yeah, that in an actual auto rotation, when you lose power, you put the collective all the way down, so it allows them to free spin. Oh Jesus!
Still not as many explosions as the first time we did this course, but...
Alright guys, remember, throttle all the way down when you lose that main rotor, nose down to get speed, right? You want to maintain above 70 knots. Once you're above 70 knots and you're between 75 and 90 feet, nose back, full throttle, and then attempt to land.
Since 2 batches ago, Zedek.
Nick's still where you at? Coming at you.
Oh, he's got it.
Alright, Nick's to the northwest, circle around, bring us back.
Roger.
Zedek, you saying sexy is sexy.
Giggity. Alright, Nixon, let's go. Throttle all the way down, nose down, above 70 knots. Let's go. Alright. Maintain 70 knots. Alright, once you're at... Alright, you're at 70 feet. Pull back, full throttle. Full throttle, and drop. Nice, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Alright, Niggs, go ahead and lift off. Follow the runway out, and then bring us back around.
Roger.
Yeah, Haptic, you're fine if you want to listen in.
Hooray, someone else has got a Black Hawk into a stable sideways flight.
Yeah. Be advised, if you lose a tail rotor and you go into a flight like that, it's going to be a fight to get it into a good forward flight. You might end up sideways.
If you stabilize in a sideways flight, you're not going to be able to correct it to forward flight. You'll have to work with it as is, but your controls are essentially the same and will function.
I figured out a good tip is to gain altitude and then lower the throttle, and that
Niggs, guess what? You just got hit.
No way.
Alright, Niggs, come on.
Ha. Beat
I've
that.
seen worse.
Were you injured?
Yeah, Abstract, we're just continuing with the students. Are we gonna change the subject?
We're gonna change the subject in a minute. I want to make sure everyone's got a good idea of how to react in emergency situations.
Bloodbane, you want on try?
I'm gonna give you all about another 5 to 10 minutes to practice landing on that. And then move on. Oh yeah, there it is. Alright, if anyone wants an instructor to disable their stuff and give them some practice, put it in side chat.
Oh, Chuck, what's the next subject? Are you going to move on to an NOE flight?
I'm gonna move in an NOE flight, holding at a oh crap. Okay. Holding at a hold point, you know, i.e. masking, and then moving back and landing where you want to land.
Okay, Bloodbane, just got a radar one.
Got a little closer.
And you hit.
Alright, it's 0640, or it's 06 UO time by 0110. I'm going to move on to the next portion.
Oh, you lost speed there.
Whoops.
You need to gain support momentum now. Okay, you got sideways momentum instead. That still works. Keep going.